how that goes into the calculation. Matt, we saw a lot of attacks on the legacy of former President Barack Obama. It's caught a lot of people by surprise. It's something that the former president himself predicted and warned against a couple months ago. Could that come back to hurt the party in the long run, that they are going after the Obama legacy in some ways to spite the Biden candidacy?
Yes, and I was outraged by these attacks on Obama, as many of us were, and we better see it stop, and I think we will. You saw a lot of backtracking yesterday in the wake of that debate from some of the candidates who engaged in some of those attacks. What they're going to have to do is find ways to put daylight between themselves and their rival, Joe Biden. That's legitimate. Without attacking Barack Obama, that is not legitimate. Democrats do not want to hear that Obama was a failed presidency, that the ACA wasn't a really good piece of legislation. Now, there are real differences of opinion about what we do going forward, but I think those kinds of attacks on the legacy of a very successful Democratic president are not going to play well either with Democrats or with the general electorate next year.
And Matt, before we start looking and talking about the debate coming up, I wanted to get your thoughts really quickly about William Hurd stepping down, or saying, sorry, I should say, not seeking re-election after his term is over. How much of a significant development is that for the Democrats in their attempt to try to retain control of the House and going after his seat in the next midterms?
I mean, it is huge for all sorts of reasons. First of all, he's one of the few relative moderates. He's not that moderate, but he's not very radical, and he's one of the few relative moderates left in the Republican conference. They used to be like the buffalo. They roam the plains in great numbers. They've been hunted into extinction. Now their caucus is very radical. There will be no African Americans left in the House Republican Conference. There are more men named Jim than there are women running for election as Republicans in the House. And to Zerlina's point about the electorate, it is going to be very difficult for the House Republicans to win if the only people they're presenting as candidates are white men. And this is a huge problem for them immediately, and an even bigger problem for them down the line as America becomes more diverse.
Amy, let's